Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. And today's topic is how to detect deception. And it doesn't have to be this hard thing. Hi, I'm Demi. I do all things and love all things. Personal development is something that I eat, sleep, and breathe and could probably do in my sleep, but yeah, so let's get into how to recognize deception, lies, something's not telling the truth. And this is going to be a video that dives pretty deep into what I've been learning when it comes to identifying deception and identifying different personalities in my life, and if I want to welcome those personalities into my life, and if I would rather just keep them as, love them from a distance if it's a family member, or, if it's a friend, slightly fade out and kind of just hang out in times and places that is, appropriate for you. Meaning, say you have a best friend who is not really in alignment with where you're trying to go, you'll just kind of downgrade the friendship to more of a associate. And the thing is, you're not having a conversation to the person about it. It is just naturally happening. So when people say things like, oh, we grew apart, I haven't seen her in a while, or she moved away and, we never spoke again, And the thing is, there isn't any malice. It's just life happens, evolution happens, you change as a person, and that's okay. No one is evil or bad. And that, I realize, stems from a sense of lack. When you think something is bad, most of that stems from, like, I don't know, the whole good and bad thing. I don't resonate with that. That's not what we really talk about here. I may use the word to, give an interpretation of something for most people to understand, but good and bad isn't really the thing here. It's more of, okay, what's presented? What are the facts? Does this align with my values? Not my morals, my values. My values are something that are in my life, not something that society told me to do. So, like, for instance, doing something out of guilt. Oh, I just felt bad, so I thought I should. No. Anytime you find yourself saying the word should, don't do it, because it's rooted in guilt, and you're gonna get the outcome of guilt. Not happiness, not acceptance, not the higher level of emotions. So just remember that. It took me a while to understand that too. So guilt is kind of like you're doing it to seem like a good person. You're not doing it because you truly wanted to give that person on the street $1. You did it because you felt bad for them. You did it because, like, I don't know. But who are you being when you're giving? Are you being a guilty person? Or are you giving out of love? Because the thing is, what I realized, and this is totally, I don't know where this is leading, but this is gold, so I'm just going to flow with it. And I notice when I give something out of love that I have for this person, and just pouring out of my heart, the person accepts the gift in a way that I can feel it, other people can feel it, and it becomes this moment that is just so curated. When you give someone a gift because you didn't want them to feel a certain type of way, or like it's just not rooted in like the higher level of emotions. If you're giving out of guilt, you're going to receive guilt back. They're going to be like, why did you give this to me? I don't like I'm telling you, if you want to try this, do it. Give somebody something and give it out of guilt of not feeling bad or thinking you're not going to be a good person or whatever. Like, even speaking on the phone, giving people your time because you feel guilty of saying no and you think they're not going to like you, that people pleasing stuff, that is guilt also. And you realize when you actually love the person and you're having a great conversation, you're both connecting, you don't feel that guilt to hang up the phone. You don't feel any of that. It's actually very lighthearted and you guys end up making jokes and stuff. But when it is one sided and over, you're letting them over speak and dump on you out of guilt, you feel that in your body. And that is the emotion that is stuck with you. And yeah, so I guess I'll tie that into how to detect deception, because when I speak to people, I can tell what level of emotion it's coming from. And it's because I read this book about the emotions and stuff like that. I don't even remember the name right now. Um, what is it, by David Hawkins? I feel like any of his books would do. It really doesn't matter which one because he talks about it in all of them. But well, and I can hear someone speak and the words that they use, how they present themselves. This is something that I truly feel like I've mastered. Someone can speak and I can tell exactly what emotion that is coming from. Like, if someone is very sarcastic, they have a lot of passive aggression. I used to be a very passive aggressive person, so that's how I knew. For instance, I used to have these weird sayings like back in like high school and even in college. Like, someone would be like, someone would say something around the lines of, are we going to the club? And then I'll say, nah, we're going to the club. Like, I thought that other people were supposed to just know things. You know, it was a communication issue that I had, which led to a lot of passive aggression behavior. And when I read David Hawkins' book, he talked about what passive aggression behavior and what emotion that is tied to. And it's tied to the emotion of apathy. And apathy was something that I was living in for a very long time, I will say. And it explained like why I had so much anger in my life and why I couldn't control my emotions, and I wasn't really recognizing what my emotions were trying to tell me. I was just kind of letting them run my life. And so, how do you detect deception? Self-mastery. When you go on the journey of getting to know you, you have to process your trauma. You have to know who you are as a person, and you won't know who you are as a person if everything that you do in life is based off of what someone else said, what someone else did, what my parents told me, what my cousin told me, what my auntie told me. You're simply not authentic. You haven't found you. And as a person who has invested so much money and spent so much time in doing it or die trying, it is so important that you start your journey as soon as possible. So, these are some things that helped me out. But before we talk about that, thank you guys so much for liking the video and all my wonderful followers. Thank you for supporting the page. I really appreciate you guys so, so much. This page is truly for any and everyone that can take pieces and apply it to their life. So I'm going to tell you guys. Oh, and then if you guys haven't checked it out already, check out the QR code. It is for my Your Dream Mail, snail mail. It's basically a way to help you reach your dream life at lightning speed and give you a plan each and every month. So check that out if you are interested. The waitlist is still open. So let's go into what worked for me. Mastering your presence. This is how, and this is all still tied to how to detect deception. So I had a talk with life coaches. I've talked with therapists. I've worked with therapists and I've just done a lot of work on myself, and I've invested a lot of money into it because it is so worth it. Paying for stuff is so worth it. Even if you didn't even get the value that you thought, there's a lesson in that alone. And so that was worth the money you spent. Let that sink in. Master your voice. So I got a voice coach. I purchased a class that is teaching me how to master my voice, my tonality, where I'm speaking from, because that alone, you just need to be able to be fluid. Like, you need to know how to speak from your heart. You need to know how to speak from your power. You need to know how to speak, in other ways for like your significant other, your children, public speaking. They're all different levels and tones. So yeah. Master your mind. I did this with therapy. There's so many different kinds. I am not a therapist, but this is something that has worked for me, and it is tried and true too. And yeah. And I will give you a tip. Make sure you find you a therapist who believes that If you speak about your trauma, it re-traumatizes your body. Get a therapist that specifically believes in that. If you can find one that believes in that and thinks that is a true statement, write it down. Go find one until you find one that believes in that. That's how you know you got a good therapist. My coach taught me this. Master your heart. Mastering my heart, that is something I'm just now starting to do, and that is even why this page exists, because this showed up in my heart one day. So, yeah, it's more of an intuitive thing, but I feel like if you are a beginner, do the therapy first. This will all happen in layers. You're not just gonna master all of these in a month. Like, it just doesn't work like that. And if you're someone like me who is just aware and can talk about why certain things are happening and kind of like know where it's coming from, but you can't really talk therapy doesn't really help for you. It's because you're not connected to your body. I had this issue before. So somatic therapy, nervous system regulation, and different therapies that are not talk therapy. Look at those because it's going to help you reconnect to your body. Now, I'm not telling you to go get these things. I'm telling you what I did, and it worked for me tremendously. Master your body. Coaching, therapy, and discipline. Pick something and just start. Pick an area of your life and just start. But mastering your body, you can start with, like, if you have weight goals, or if you're going through something, find you a doctor, find you one of the best doctors that, I don't know. Just master your body. Find out what works for you, because that is definitely what worked for me, is mastering my body. Mastering your emotions. I talk about that a lot because your emotions shouldn't be running you. You should be processing them as they come through and come to you, and that is it. You don't have to associate with them if you don't want to. Like, if it's a lower level emotion that you're feeling, you can just sit and process that. That's what I did. But, you can just try different mindfulness practices. But those are all the things that worked for me. Now, how did this help me detect deception? Once I found who I am outside of my parents, outside of my family, outside of my friends, outside of societal belief systems, outside of my trauma, outside of my emotions, outside my binge eating, outside of so many things that I have been trying to conquer throughout life. And a few books and a few coaches and a few therapy sessions later, I realized that once you have discovered yourself, and I'm not saying that you have to be at this highest level and the most perfect ever. No. Once you start your journey, you'll just know. It's something that I just knew. You're more connected to your body, so you're more connected with nature, evolution, and you're naturally able to pick up on things. So before I used to read like 48 Laws of Power and look at all these. I was just obsessed with the whole psychological world and psychology, which it is useful, but it made more sense as I began to master myself more. Once I got to know myself more and more and more and digging deeper and deeper and deeper, and I still am to this day, I'm still learning. And the thing is, that's what it is. My goal is to also never know everything. I never want to be a person who knows everything. I accept not knowing, and I accept forever being a student. And I feel like that is the reason why I have been so successful in my journey. So, again, how did when you, so it's almost like, think of a dumpster. The green big dumpster, the double thing with the little things on the top. Yes, that dumpster. Think of that dumpster. Think of, so that dumpster, and imagine one, it's filled to the brim, filled to the brim. It's filled with, imagine, it's filled with all the limiting beliefs from your past ancestors on both sides of your family. It's filled with the beliefs of society. Is filled with your traumas that you've personally experienced, all of the emotions that are buried under, unprocessed emotions, resentment, passive aggression, anger, all of these things, like all of your information, your nervous system, all of it. And there are like pieces and compartments inside, right? But you can't even see them. And when I say that, I mean like the nervous system, right? So when you do, so when I did EMDR, hypnotherapy, Rohan therapy, what else did I do? I did so many different types of therapy. It is ridiculous. I loved it because I learned something new each and every time, opened up a new level of myself each and every time. And as I began to do that, it's like the cleaning day. The day that dumpster finally gets to clean out. So your nervous system already has the technology to see deception. It's already programmed in you. Like, you already know. It's just all this gunk inside your system that you have to clean out. So you're cleaning out all the beliefs. When you're working on yourself, you're cleaning out all of your beliefs. Cleaning it all out. Cleaning it all out. Cleaning it all out. And then you have this container. And now, as you begin, even though you're still digging it out, you're still doing the work, even though you're still digging it out, your system starts recalibrating, because it's like, oh, we have more room. Oh, we have more room for this. Oh, we can create a new pathway over here because there's more room. Oh, we can connect, we can connect, we can connect, we can connect. So we already have everything that we are searching for. And I'm not even going to say I wish I knew this, because I am grateful that I get to share my journey with you. And that alone it feels great. It feels amazing. So that is what is happening when you are doing this work. It's not for no reason. It's so you can find yourself, because throughout all the trash that you have inside your body, all the trash, all the gunk, is finally time to clean it up. And you're just cleaning, 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 and your nervous system is finding all these new things. And you're reprogramming, you're steady doing your therapy, so you're creating new pathways, new beliefs, better beliefs that you actually want, not the ones that you created as a kid because you didn't have the parent to help you integrate the lessons. But it's okay because we're doing the work, we're doing the work, we're doing the work. And now all of a sudden, you're more in your body. You're able to read a message and know where it's coming from because you can feel it in your body now. Because before, there was so much gunk that you couldn't feel anything. You couldn't feel the bottom of the trash can. You couldn't feel the sides of the trash can because there was junk all over it. So now that you finally get to feel yourself and you have your natural instinct, you are able to detect the things that you couldn't before. You're able to manage the emotions that you couldn't before. You're able to see and process the emotions you couldn't before because you were given the tools from all the different things that you've invested in. The therapy, the different mindfulness work, somatic work, hypnotherapy, whatever it is. I know for me, the things that I did helps me in that way, and that is how you can detect deception. So, if you want this on autopilot, you can subscribe to my snail mail. It is amazing. It's going to be great. And it's something that's going to be easy and effortless and keep you accountable, keep you on your journey to building your dream life. So go ahead and go to my page and look at the communities tab and click on the QR code. I also have the link in my bio. So check it out. And I will see you guys in the next video.